Please, no.
And hello, Internet. Welcome, I believe, to episode 79 of Enter the Dungeon. Who wants to give the recap of what happened last time?
The person that doesn't remember, do it.
No! Please, no.
Fine. We met with the people that we suspected were the ones that were involved in the reason of the taxes. And we went and found them, talked to them. We went down into a subterranean vault with them. Here's some bones of a giant, and they said they're going to try and take over the government. And Earthmover's kind of just like, okay, well, don't kill anybody, and I'm cool with that. Because your current government sucks.
Well, to clarify,
it's got taxes and slavery.
Yeah.
Not that there's like the same level of problem.
To clarify, you're not quite subterranean yet. You're still terranean, but they offered to take you subterranean to show you the bones.
Ah. Cool. Into the earth.
Also, is terranean actually the term for being on the surface level?
That's probably terrestrial.
Well, what if, like, in
I thought we went into a cave.
No, it was just part of the temple.
Oh, okay.
Chris, you want to add anything?
No, I feel like I was drunk. But I'm not.
In character?
I mean, can I?
I mean, you did have a few drinks before you walked over there.
But I'm a drunk. That shouldn't affect me.
Unsafe.
Yeah. But either way, I'm interested in trying to stop this tax problem thing.
Oh yeah, I don't know if we finished negotiations or not, but the last thing I remember inputting was the idea that we take like a little more than half of the money, or roughly half of the money back, and say, like, they put it somewhere and we go and find it and say, the people that we think stole it weren't, or we don't know.
Yeah,
basically to the effect of...
Yeah, they effectively agreed to that.
Yeah. We didn't find who stole it when we got the gold, but we have a majority of it. So that's what we intend on doing.
And they did offer to take you underground to show you the bones, if you're interested.
Yes.
Say that again.
Show me
Sorry
that
about that.
bone.
Bones? We're going to see bones?
Yeah, the giant bones.
Giant bones! Yay! Call an archaeologist.
Okay.
I mean, you're a rock specialist.
And you guys both do have experience grave robbing, right?
Do we? This is an excellent question.
I mean, the forge, planar forge, kinda.
Yeah, that kind
Is that a grave?
Well, do you want to count the castle where all the dead children hung out around?
Ah. Now that we can do.
Or what about when you were literally walking across the plane of death?
We didn't steal
technically grave
anything.
robbing?
You
Yeah,
stole some
plus
stuff
there's no
from
graves
Clyde.
there. There's no graves
Clyde's
there.
not dead, he's undead.
Yeah, since he's a vampire, does his cabin in the woods count as a grave? Or monster?
It is at best a crypt.
Okay, crypt. Crypt of course.
If not, you can also say it's just a giant tomb.
Well, you've definitely taken things off of bodies, so that's somewhere on the
Yeah, but corpse robbing is definitely different than grave robbing.
It's
Yeah,
on the same
exactly.
spectrum, I'd say.
Yes, but I would say it's a
Would our
much lighter
character
shade.
actually consider it grave robbing, though?
I mean, Earthmover doesn't have a great concept of grave robbing. When someone dies, you just kind of take what's there that's useful.
Wait, do Goliaths practice cannibalism?
I feel like that is the one exception to their survival thing. And even that might be somewhat motivated by, well, you know, if you died because like of poison or of old age. Actually, to be fair, most of us don't die in a place where we can eat them.
Okay.
Because we either make them go away because they're too old, or they die like fighting creatures that they're hunting, or like in an avalanche because they're in some kind of contest.
And they don't have alchemy.
Yeah, they don't have alchemy. So I imagine
Wait,
most of them don't die in a place where we can easily recover their bodies, even if we wanted to eat them.
So corpse disposal takes care of itself.
Yeah.
You
Walking
just
in
go-
winter for
You just walk around the
Graveland.
country and you just see a body. Oh, that's all probably always been there.
Been there for centuries and it's just frozen solid, completely undecayed.
Are you having this conversation as you're walking downstairs?
It'd be worth having.
Oh, yes,
Wow.
giant bones. I know a thing or two about that. In my country.
Actually, Drew, here's a better question. If we found a dead giant, would we as Goliaths eat it? We are
Is it a
descendants
good
of
source?
giants, but are we giants? Like, we wouldn't have any reason to revere giants. So I guess a better question is, would we eat dragons? We can answer that question first. I think the answer is probably yes.
I mean, yes, you could eat a dragon, but I think that it would just be so impractical to try to cut through the scales without, like, quasi-modern techniques in most circumstances. Well,
I mean, we
Actually-
could, if it's dead, we can crawl inside of it and scoop the meat from the
actually,
inside.
yeah. Okay, yeah, it's probably, like, a complicated process. Like, I can't imagine many people are hunting dragons for meat, but
No, I'm saying
Yeah,
if
I'd say
we
you
find
probably-
a dead one.
tell you what, I think that if, like, someone killed a dragon in, like, defense of, like, their town or something, they would probably use everything they could of it. Scales, heart, meat, eyes. I don't know how much of this is potion and how much of this is food, but
Yeah, it's definitely all getting used what can be.
yeah.
So yeah, when it comes to a giant, I think we would eat a giant.
Yeah, because I would say anatomically their flesh isn't going to be all that different from a human's
Yeah,
when it comes to, like, basic material and stuff.
yeah.
Nutrition.
I'm talking more from a reverence point of view.
I mean, I just
Not
don't really
that
see
we
the
have a-
Goliaths counting about that.
Goliaths don't have a huge thing about like the importance of life for life's sake.
Yeah.
But we're descended from Goliaths. There might be
If anything,
I guess
I
I'm
could
not.
see them. If anything, I could see them as, like, they're taking upon, like, the strength of this great creature by eating it.
Yeah, that actually sounds more like something the Goliaths would do.
Yeah, like, kind of getting into that as circle of life type essence,
Yeah.
except one that recognizes how freaking terrifying nature is.
Yeah, circle of life, but not so kid friendly.
Yep. Actually, that would be a giant. Ogres, they're much worse. Okay, but yeah, they're able.
I just had a really messed up thought. Ogre meat farms. You just got one ogre and you repeatedly cut its arm off.
Wouldn't that be a troll?
Yes, I meant troll. Yeah.
Would that really just... I mean, what would you do about the ogre? It'd just be traumatized and probably want to kill you all.
You just strap it down. Feed it every once in a while.
Then
and
when
just
it's...
keep chopping that arm off.
Might as well just give it some... I don't know, I mean, like, do you guys care about it?
No, it's a troll.
Are they sentient?
I mean, yes. They speak a language. You can communicate with them.
Okay. Anyway,
Yep.
not
like
a
to
moral
imagine that-
quandary I'm going to tackle right now.
Yeah, I just like to imagine a lot of
Yeah.
that was a real conversation between Earthmover and Thitch as they were going downstairs.
I mean, heck, this country has slaves, so I guess they don't care about them.
Yeah, just the whole time you're getting very strange looks from the humans around you.
We wouldn't do this. Like, we wouldn't.
We wouldn't do it. It's a hypothetical.
It's just it's a possibility. It's not a moral,
It's probably an
quote-unquote,
extreme, too.
moral
It's an extreme.
idea.
I mean, like, if you... would you rather hunt for meat or eat ogre arms? Or troll arms?
Hunt?
Well, then, there we go. We don't need to make a troll farm. Not that we would. Not that we would.
They still look at us.
Anyway. So, the bones of this giant were first laid here about 1,000 years ago, as we told you previously. And, well, after the village began to grow and a village came after village in this area, people began to excavate around it, building, a bit of a walk-in tomb. And they lead you down the stone steps that begin to open up into into an open room-like area with a large door off to the right-hand side from where you come down from. And from what you can see, they actually seem to be using this area for a little bit of storage.
Okay. What kind of things look like they're stored here?
You just see like some barrels and stuff.
Okay.
If you want, you can look into them, but
I'll pass for now.
yeah, but as you do, the one woman, Eve, she kind of like stands in front of the barrels, almost like blocking them with her body, just like, yeah, the guy's through that door.
Is she blocking the contents
Just
from
like,
me?
casually, just standing in front of it, leans you see her start to lean a hand back on it, and then she suddenly stands upright.
Insight check. That is explosives. Earthmover's immediate assumption is gunpowder. All right.
Wait, would Earthmover know what gunpowder smells like?
The smell? Absolutely not. This is an insight check.
I probably would.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and have Thitch make a perception check then.
Can I still do my insight?
Tell you what, we'll say that Earthmover, he reads the situation, and so he tips off Thitch, effectively taking the help action. You know what that means?
Advantage.
Yep, so go ahead and make a perception check with advantage.
Natural 13.
And...
Is that with advantage?
I just rolled a 13.
Oh yeah, well,
Roll
you get
again,
advantage.
take the higher value.
17.
And what's your
And I need
perception
to get my
modifier?
I'm trying to grab that. Give me a sec. It's not letting me log in.
How rude.
Please work.
It's okay. It's not very high because he's a wisdom dump monk.
What was my perception? Which one are you asking for again?
Perception?
Perception is +4.
So there's a 21 overall?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, with the 21 overall, probably in all your experience on ships and stuff, not in the monastery, you recognize the scent of gunpowder, and the way Earthmover was just like, I think there's something suspicious in that barrel. You get the hint that that's
Yeah.
probably what's in there.
Gunpowder. Yay. Do I take a torch and look at it, examine it closely?
I would like to not blow up the giant phone.
No, I don't have a torch, right? It's just...
Yeah, I also would like to say that in terms of... Actually, now that you bring that up, you do notice that in terms of lighting, there's not a torch down here. There's just like a glowing orb. Kind of on a stick. Almost like the way like a torch on a stick would be.
Okay. So I want to take a look at it. Yeah. and I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, you just want to walk over there.
Alright.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Thitch, can I? Yeah, you. Right, right. You want to go through the doors, right?
Yeah.
First
Uh,
mover has like stopped at the door and is like kind of watching behind him to see what Fitch is gonna do.
Yeah, and
What is Zoe's reaction to all this?
Zoe, she just seems to she kind of starts eyeing the rebels a little more suspiciously, like what's going on here exactly? And so Henry and Fletcher, they actually move over to the large wooden doors. Okay, and they start to open them up. Well, the tomb's through this way.
I'm gonna keep looking at Fitch. I'm gonna kind of like turn and nod to them for a moment, and then look back at Fitch and see what's going on over there. Because my suspicions appear to be being confirmed.
Oh, yeah, yeah. So what are you staring at me for, Thitch?
um, my bad. Sorry, lost track. IRL.
You're next to
Um.
the barrels.
Oh, right, the barrels. I look at the barrels.
Probably
Hey,
no.
why is there gunpowder down here?
Who said anything about gunpowder?
Clearly, the gunpowder physically being in front of me.
What are you talking about? There's no gunpowder in these barrels. And besides, even
I
if there
literally smell gunpowder. I've been on ships for 20 years. I know what gunpowder smells like.
Yep. Okay, first of all, I'd like to blame whichever one of you idiots forgot to seal the barrel.
I probably would still be able to identify it.
Honestly, if it was a sealed barrel, would you be able to smell anything from it?
Probably
Uh,
not, but I
well,
think I could look
it
at residue
depends
around
on
it.
it depends on how carefully it was sealed, like
Yeah.
whether or not it would have some, or how carefully it was packaged, rather. Like if there's some smeared on the side or whatever, you might still have like, smudge marks of gunpowder on the outside or whatever else.
Okay, fine. We bought a shipment of gunpowder from Panip. Is that a crime?
That's where the halflings are.
Correct. See, you are clearly a very educated man. Would you like to discuss the finer points of the chemistry of gunpowder?
I would need a chemical analysis first. I've never worked with it before.
Ah. Oh, have you worked with the Have you worked with the gnomes before?
No, but I would very much like to.
Ah, yes, yes. Yes, they have all sorts of interesting technology for the right price. Now, where were we? We were about to go investigate the bones, right?
Good lord, do I? It's out of character. Good lord, do I want to be an artificer with a gun? Or in this case, transmutation alchemist with a gun, which is actually better because there's that thing that I have that I haven't used ever, the Zing alchemy. I could put that on a bullet.
Well, tell you what, how would you just take some of this gunpowder and pull a Phineas Gage, but aim it at someone else?
I don't think I can aim the ground at other people.
Yes, you literally
Actually,
can.
if anyone can, it's me. But that's a different point. So yeah, why do you have gunpowder?
You know.
For blowing things up.
And
Well,
especially
gunpowder's
under a
for.
temple. It
Yeah,
seems like
I
you're
mean,
trying to
think
do
of
a
it.
sort of terrorist attack or
No,
something.
no. I mean, this is our temple. We have no interest in blowing it up. We're just keeping it safe here. I think that that's a very responsible thing to do, to keep it safe from people.
Safe.
I mean, after all,
Especially
surely you
under a
don't
You were the
temple.
ones that brought it into the country.
think about it. We're keeping it in a dry underground environment, so that way, it's not getting wet, and we're not just letting anyone get into it.
That
Are
doesn't
you
explain its
licensed?
intended use.
Are you
Well,
licensed gunpowder users?
I don't
Give your
know.
gunpowder chits.
Are you a licensed puncher?
Well, yes. Would you like to see my ID?
I feel like this is a setup so you can punch me. So now,
I am sponsored by another country to do what I do, so
Yes.
yes.
Same here.
I mean,
I don't have an adventuring ID, but I am literally state sponsored.
no. I just like to imagine just Thitch just pointing to his Medal of Honor when he says this.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I was basically gonna do that.
Yep.
You look right here. I am sponsored by Gallet, so
Ah. Well, then I'm sure you get it.
I'm giving this candy away.
unlicensed use of gunpowder has nothing to do with being sponsored by a state to do adventuring work.
I mean, do you really need a license to use gunpowder?
I assure you I don't know. This country has so many rules.
And aren't we fighting to try to get rid of the bad rules? And doesn't that sometimes require maybe working around the good ones?
I don't know. What does it say in your declaration of dependence?
Dependence on whom? Each other?
I don't. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. What is it called when you declaration of? I don't know. How do you write when you make a country?
Well, it's more of an issue of like a declaration of civil war, which we're hoping to avoid. We want this to be a diplomatic process, which once again brings us back to the question of why do you have gunpowder?
Maybe we're trying to sponsor the revolution by the sale of firearms that people can use for.
Aren't you a
don't
magician?
see
Don't you have
any
mid-
firearms.
Well, I mean, this is a part of making them.
I don't know much about Panax manufacturing techniques, but I really doubt that you need a chemical accelerant, a chemical oxidizing accelerant, to manufacture something that's designed to use that to propel objects. That seems like a disaster waiting to happen.
Look, do you want deniability or do you want to know what the gunpowder's for?
We, just in the previous room, agreed to as peaceful as possible. Now, if you just tell me this is a contingency...
Yes, hopefully we won't need to blow anything up.
Okay, I'm done with this conversation. If this is a contingency and you try diplomacy as hard as physically possible first without doing anything even approaching threatening violence, then I'm not going to take any qualms with this. Revolution seems like a very messy business. Which is surprising considering how easy it was to literally get an entire band of goblins to form a union.
And did that require any of your own gunpowder, quote unquote?
I killed, I think, like 3 people total. That was it. Like, that was it.
Well, different scale, different means, different ends.
Relatively similar ends. Just order.
You built a city. We're trying to rebuild a country.
Okay, so figure there's what, 100 cities in a country, in this country? Roughly, is that a reasonable estimate?
Well, if you start talking
Kill more
about,
than-
like, unmapped villages, then that gets a lot more complicated, but...
I'm just gonna say this: if you kill more than 300 people, I'm coming back with an ass whooping, or at least a strong
Okay.
negative talking to before that.
I assure you that I will not kill any more than 300 people.
That's not encouraging, but okay.
Then Henry says,
Anyway.
I also promise you that I will not kill more than 300 people.
900 people is a lot of people. Alright.
And then Fletcher says, would you also like me to promise to not kill more than 300?
No, I've realized I've set the bar a little bit too low here. I'm not going to retroactively change my mind. Let's just go to the bone room. What is Zoe's take on all of this?
Yeah, like... Her whole facial expression is just extremely suspicious. Now she's just eyeing the barrels like they might explode, which... You know,
mean...
could happen.
A wayward flame, and they could.
Isn't it nice when metaphors can work out into literalisms? But yes, they open up the large wooden doors. And it opens up into a larger stone chamber that before you can really begin to estimate the size of, you are immediately noticing the giant skeleton towards the middle of it. Giant being a two-factor word here.
Yeah. Actually, giants aren't called a giant size, they're called huge.
Are there giants?
I don't think giant's actually a size category. Now that I think about rephrasing that, yeah, no, it's not. It's giant and then
Gargantuan.
I mean, it's huge. Yeah, huge and then gargantuan. In prior editions, there was one more for large creature. 3.5e had one in between huge and gargantuan. Anyway,
Yes.
maybe
Also,
it was colossal after gargantuan, something
Also-
like that.
just be careful not to disturb the bones. They've rested for a long time.
That
Disturb 'em?
is one of the most ominous sentences I have ever heard.
Sheesh, I just mean that they're very old bones. They might be brittle.
You said that like it's gonna animate if I touch it.
Well, not if you touch it, but I don't know what you two are capable of.
You make a good. Oh, no, that's a necromancy. I don't have necromancy spells. I only have transmutation spells.
But I started to point at the screens before remembering that you guys can't see who I'm pointing to, and orientations are just completely different depending on where you're sitting and everything.
Yeah, our camera view is 90 degrees to the plane that you're trying to point on.
And also, like, the individual camera distributions is different for each person in a Google meeting, and
Yeah.
my point was Chris. Pretend I'm pointing to Chris. Answer.
Oh,
Oh yeah, the stone.
necromancy.
Yes.
I
And
was-
he's a
I was-
warlock.
Well, he doesn't have. He's one level of warlock.
So this is a giant.
Do I recognize? Okay, do I see? Okay, I'm gonna roll for perception to see if I'm a little with the wording of her whatever they're saying about the bones. I'm a little wary about this area.
Yeah, well, what are you trying to figure out?
Or
If they're trying to do anything magical with the bones.
How would you be doing that? What are you looking for?
Right now looking at the ground, or if there's any light sources in a certain.
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation or arcana.
Can I roll medicine or arcana to see if I can determine how he died?
Yeah, go ahead and try
I
to
mean,
roll
I
medicine,
know
but
it was murdered.
heart
But, like,
failure.
how?
His heart technically failed.
Oh, great. Well, that may not be cause of death. Oh, that's the wrong character sheet. Thank
What
you.
am I rolling again?
Arcana or Investigation.
Arcana's a +1. Investigation is a +1 as well. So 14.
And what specifically are you looking at? Like, what elements of the room?
Maybe around the bones. Like on the floor around the bones.
Yeah, if you're just kind of like doing a sweep around the floor, can't really notice anything too suspicious.
Can I touch the bones? I move to touch the bones, but not really gonna touch. I just want to see their reaction. That's what.
Unless you have something very purposeful in mind, just be careful. As we've said, these have been here a long time, and they hold sentimental value to us.
You're not giants, are you?
No, but it's a symbolic thing.
Were you not listening before where we explained how these bones got here and what they represent and everything?
I remember.
Am I rolling Arcana or Medicine?
Probably medicine if you're trying to determine the cause of death. Also, yeah,
Okay.
like,
That's
this guy's
13.
bones are probably longer than Thitch.
Probably
That's not
longer.
achieving much.
Yeah. Hey.
I'm just saying, my leg is longer than you.
Yeah, like even just like what do you call the arm bone that goes from the
Humerus?
shoulder to the elbow?
Humorous.
Yeah, like his humerus.
It's not very humorous.
Now, if you said, like, his metatarsal or his metacarpal
Yeah.
was longer than Pitch, that would be impressive.
Yeah,
Yes.
because this guy was a hill giant, so that's. Oh, you guys haven't really
They're
measured
on the
him.
smaller side.
Yeah, so you guys didn't really measure him yet, but like that's around 15 to 16 feet. So.
Well, I was going to
Wait.
say, I know he's a hill giant, but it's not, I can't, it's bones.
Yeah, they told you
So-
that coming down here.
Hold on.
Yes.
Why in the world would you have gunpowder near something you treasure? That makes no sense.
They don't plan on blowing it up here. They're going to
Yes,
use
but
it
that's
as
still
bombs somewhere else.
dangerous.
They're storing it in a place that they consider it safe. No one else knows this place exists, to my knowledge. The way that they got in here was coming through a wall, keep in mind.
Then they closed the doors behind the tomb. You want to try knocking these down?
Not particularly.
Because the trick is, from this side, it'd be pretty easy to knock these doors down.
I'm confused. Is this a siege holdup? Like a what's the word I want? Panic room?
Not exactly. And if you're now taking a closer look at the doors, you actually do notice that they kind of curve outwards a little bit.
Oh,
By the way, what was the result of the medicine check?
it was a 13.
Yeah, with a 13, like, if you're going up to the skull, you can definitely see, like, a spot near the right eye, like that part of the bone near the forehead. It's definitely caved in, but there's no way to tell if that happened, like, when the creature died or sometime in the last 1,000 years.
Yeah. Okay.
And, Earthmover, while you're walking in the length of the room, I do want you to make a perception check. Because there's something
Okay.
you in particular might take notice of.
Well, I'm not going to. That's an 8.
How obvious would this be? Yeah, would Earthmover have any real reason to be, like, looking around the room, just trying to, like, get the vibe for what's going on here, aside from it's a tomb?
No, but if it applies to the situation, since it's you're asking for my passive walking around, my passive perception's a 13.
No, because it's not necessarily something someone's, like, trying to hide from you, and I don't necessarily know if you would be looking for it or if it would necessarily register, even if it, like, went in your mind for a second.
But I guess the question is it something in the room or is it like a feature of the room? Because if it's
Yeah,
something in the room, that's more of a check. If it's a feature of the room, I would say that that's something you could chalk up to passive.
Yeah, more like a feature of the room, really, but I'm trying to see if it would, like, be something that would come to Earth. Because if I just say it, like, even if I'm just saying, oh yeah, this is something Earthmover notices, well, that's bringing attention to it in a bit of a meta way.
Right.
Okay.
If it's a feature of the room, that's up to your discretion.
Yeah.
I would say it's potentially feasible to use passive, but if you don't want to, I'm not gonna like say you should.
Yeah.
Also, I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah, so is there anything Fitch would want to do in this room?
I'm. I don't think so
Okay.
because there's no alcohol. But anything with necromancy would because
Mm-hmm.
trying to raise undead, make a nice alcohol thing. If I don't see anything that would interest me, I don't think I'd pay much attention to it.
Well, do you want to try using the gem?
It sounds like you're trying to trap me by making me use the gem
Well, no, I'm just asking if you want to use it.
to raise something up.
No. I'm just asking, is there anything that you would want to use the gem for in this situation?
I guess if it resonates with anything necromancy, like. See,
Like you're just trying to hold it out like a metal detector? Just like a...
kinda, I guess.
Yeah, just like run it up and down the giant.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you do that, it doesn't like start glowing or anything.
Oh. Can I touch the bone with the stone?
Okay. When you do that, you do begin to hear a familiar voice say, "Ah, isn't this a beauty?"
What in the
Particularly,
world?
this is a voice you
I
heard once
think I-
before in a forest.
I think I know what you're talking about. Is this Styx?
Nope, not Styx, bit older than he.
Ah, which one are you?
Wait, actually,
I remember. I remember you. Kinda. Not really. Don't remember your name.
don't think I really had the chance to give you my name.
Yeah. And you are? Would you like to give it to me now?
Well, perhaps that can wait a few minutes. So, what do you think of all that's going on here?
I have no clue, but I don't know. Something tells me something. They're trying to do something. I don't. What? You have an idea? Have you seen anything like this?
I mean, this is the skeleton of a giant.
Yes. I just don't know what to think about it.
Well, just haven't really seen anything like this in a while. I've been in the shadowed woods for a very long time.
Oh, I had a question for you.
Okay.
Do you know who, back then, who the vampire was talking about?
When you went inside Clyde's little house there?
Yes, Clyde. Do you know who he's working for?
Alas, in that house, he's kind of outside the influence and perception of the other death gods.
Yes, but I'm more referring to, say, I know, I would describe him as a god who is well keen on ruling the realm. The realm. I feel like I'm saying this wrong, but ruling the realms. I think that's what his purpose, but I definitely know what it was because that's our main focus of the campaign.
Basically, he described it as a fiendish being that was going to lay waste to the material plane.
Yes, that's what I say.
Okay.
A fiendish being that will lay waste to the material plane.
Well,
Do you
there's
know of
count-
such being?
well, there's countless demons in the hells that would want to achieve such an end. But why does that bring you here? To a giant's graveyard? And where is here exactly?
Well, we're in a temple. One such temple that is meant for giants. Or, well, had a connection to giants at one point, because why else would the bones be here?
Yes, that makes sense. You know, would you like to be able to see this giant walk again?
What in the world?
I might
Why
be-
would I? I mean, isn't there giants similar to him?
Well, yes, but they're not under your control, are they?
But why would I want a giant under my control?
Think about the power that would give you. You could use
But I
this
do
to
not
help...
care for power.
Don't you want to be able to hold off that, destructive force?
Well, that requires power, but that doesn't mean I care for it.
Yes.
Besides, who's to say that you're not a fiendish being?
Why do you say that? Simply because I'm a god of death?
No. Just because one's a god of death does not mean that they are a fiend. I mean, some might call me a fiend, but that doesn't mean I am. Some might call me a pirate. Similar to a fiend, but I am not
Yes.
a fiend. But you have not shown me anything that would say that you're not a fiend.
Well, have I shown you anything to say I were?
All you are all you are to me is a voice in a forest.
And now I'm a voice in your head, speaking through a gem.
Yes, that is true. That I cannot change.
Yes.
That I could have avoided.
And in a manner of speaking, this is kind of my gem, since I was the first of what you would call a god of death in this particular lineage.
So what was it called back then?
Well,
Just the Death Realm? Surely you are not Thanatos, are you?
one and the same. The plane and I were, for a long time. But as is my nature, I too eventually had to, in a sense, die. But in my death, something else came. A forest. And another took my place, and then died, and so on, each incorporating into part of the land of Thanatos. And one day your queen, this raven, shall also have to pass on, and I wonder what she will become. Perhaps she'll finally visit it with a true sun. She's quite fond for creating illusions of those.
What do you mean, true son?
I mean, I don't know if she did that so much to keep Clyde from attacking, or if that was to make you feel more welcome, but there is no true sun in Thanatos. That was simply, a gift, I guess. Yeah, let's call it a gift. That sounds nicer. Oh, by the way, for context, right now, Thitch is standing with the Thanatos gem just touching the giant's body.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm talking to myself.
Well, you don't hear him say anything. But
Oh.
you
Is that
do
telepathic?
notice, Earthmover, something you do notice is that the Raven has turned to him and it is starting to tap at his head a little bit. But Thitch, you don't notice that.
Huh.
So, how would you
Can I
like a
make an
power that's
animal handling check on the bird to see if it's doing that because it's worried about something or like why it's tapping?
um?
Or would that
Tell you
be
what, make an
insight?
insight check. That'd probably be better.
Okay.
And yeah, Chris. Yeah, the voice continues to say, I mean, after all, the Raven Queen, she's only been around for a few centuries, but I can offer you power that's millennia old. Power even more ancient than these bones. I could give you command over the bones. What is it that you want?
Well, you should know by now. I've basically said it to the whole entire Thanatos realm, haven't I? Basically.
I don't think you went around shouting, I want to open a brewery.
Scream it
Makes
from the
sense.
blood-soaked mountaintops.
Huh?
Scream it from the blood-soaked mountaintops.
Yes.
Also, it's a 21 for insight.
Yeah, with that, yeah, you immediately realize, I've been traveling with this Raven for at least a few days now, and it's never done anything like this before. And Thitch is right now doing something he's never really done before, and he's standing still.
Yeah, that never happens. Even when he sleeps, he just kind
Exactly.
of kicks. Constantly.
Yes. For example, would your queen have been able to grant you this much of a private conversation?
What do you mean?
Well,
Wait. I kind of wake. Do I
yeah,
wake?
you
Realize?
you realize that you can't see through the Raven's eyes right now.
I'm. After how long was I with the Raven? I mean, like it's been like a week or no,
Yeah,
week and a half. So I've kind of gotten used to it.
yeah.
But it's like I've closed two eyes and I can't see through them
Yeah,
when
it's
I
like you're
try
suddenly
opening them.
yeah, it's like you're suddenly realizing, wait, where'd Raven Vision go?
Yeah. I back off and I'm like, what in the world?
And I'm assuming ravens can't exactly sigh with relief, but it does just go back into normal position on your shoulder, and you can see through it again.
I sigh and like grab my chest like I'm breathing a little bit.
Zoe says, "Are you all right? What just happened?"
I think
I
I've
second
made
the query.
I think I made a mistake.
Do you have the slightest idea how little that narrows it down?
This is not a new thing. Making mistakes is kind of what we're in the business of doing.
Yes, but this is a more of a bigger mistake.
What happened?
Do I remember or
Yep,
no?
Yep, you fully remember the conversation with Thanatos.
So, you guys remember the forest voices
What forest
Yes.
voices?
from the Thanatos realm?
What?
Forest voices from Thanatos realm?
What do you
Yes.
mean? No, Earthmover, you never heard any voices.
Didn't I?
Wait, what? Not even through that one foggy part?
I don't think so. I think it
Yeah.
was just
No, because the voices were trying to get us to go into the fog.
you know what? Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, right.
We
But when
heard
you were
different
coming
voices.
out, it was just right. It was
Yes.
just Thetch. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but that's what I'm referencing because
yes,
that's the only thing that
unfortunately.
makes kind of sense. So, I think those voices are in my head now.
And this is a mistake because...
I let them.
Are you?
I let that happen.
Are you?
Well, not to be a little too on the
Possessed.
head here, but that you invited them in, so
Yes, that is true.
Are you saying you're possessed?
No. He didn't control me unless because I wasn't moving, and he sort of forced me into a telepathic conversation where I forgot everything, and I couldn't. I felt wrong because I couldn't see through my Raven's eyes anymore. So I feel like my connection with the Raven Queen just stopped.
You invited in an entity powerful enough to block off connection to the living god of death?
I thought it was something less at first.
Well, what does he want?
Well, he wants me to resurrect this giant?
I look at the people whose temple this is.
Ah, there's an interesting idea, Henry Hedgeworth says. How come we didn't think of that?
I'm guessing because none of you are powerful magic casters, no offense.
And then you, see Fletcher kind of, like, elbow him a little bit.
Elbow who?
Elbow, Henry.
Is
I
there
instinctively-
something else that I should know about? Y'all
So-
are getting shadier by the minute.
As I'm still talking, I just put the Thanatos gem back into my bag of holding.
I don't know, he's the one talking to dead gods, apparently. How come we're the shady ones?
You're trying to overthrow a country, and every time we think we understand what your game is on that, we discover something new.
Sounds like he's trying to overthrow the fundamental laws of death.
No, I'm
Oh,
not. That's the natural law of death. People overruling other people.
He's kind of not wrong. From what I've gathered, the ruler succession just basically turns into features of the land in Thanatos.
I'm still sighing and trying to think. And actually, for a sec, I don't know if I can. Is it possible if I can try communicating with the Raven Queen?
Let's see now. Don't think you have a specific spell for that, but you might be able to use the gem for it.
Use the gem as a sending stone. Without
Can I
a
meditate
receiver.
and hold the stone in my hands so I can try communicating?
Okay. Tell you what. I'll let you expend 2 of the gem's charges and a key point, I guess, to... Oh, well, what are you trying to communicate to her with? I don't think you'd be able to have, a full-on extended conversation like you just had with Thanatos, but what do you want to do?
I want to relay what information I'm getting. What I just spoke with Thanatos, and I want to see what she says.
Okay, tell you what, I'll say that you can send a message, and you'll just have to have faith that she'll get back to you.
Alright.
So, yeah, I guess you're effectively casting the sending spell, so what do you want to tell her? And you can presume she can tell that your connection was severed for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Thitch may not be smart, but he can probably reason that much at least.
Hey!
Oh, come on, you've agreed with me before that Thitch is not a smart guy.
Kinda, yeah.
Hey, is he wise, though, Andreas? I think he's wise.
He's not wise. He's a wisdom dump monk.
I'm a very flexible old man. Though I'm technically like 30 in
Yeah.
halfling age, right?
I presume this is not what you're telling the Raven Queen.
No, no. Okay, so I tell the Raven Queen, hey, Thanatos started talking to me. And he's wanting me to resurrect. I don't trust him. How short does it have to be?
Tell you what, we'll just say that this is a use of the sending spell, so 20 words or less.
20 words or less.
Oh, by the way, he pulled out the gem again, Andreas. And now appears to be
Yeah.
meditating, so.
Thanatos
Just a second, I'm on the
talk
phone.
to me. Connection.
And, would Earthmover have reason to be, like, looking around more into this room, trying to see what's going on, now that he's suspicious again?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, okay, they were talking about the door and how hard it, like, how it's much easier to get into from this side.
Yeah,
I'm
go
gonna
ahead.
see if there's any other weird stuff about this room.
Yeah, go ahead and roll investigation or perception, whichever I guess is higher.
Investigation's definitely higher. I'm
Yeah.
in base character.
Yeah, you can try to investigate the
Nat 1.
really.
It's a +6, but it's a nat 1.
Okay, well, go ahead and mark experience. That's going to be a complete failure. Oh wait, that's monster of the week. Yeah, Earthmover's just so distracted by what's going on here, and I think that
Then he switches systems entirely.
just like seeing Thitch, like now I guess Morse coding with the gem and a raven.
That's all I can pay attention to.
Just like, welp, we've lost it. Might as well just bring the tomb down around us.
I actually looked for a place to take down the room using Thitch's proficiency in stonemason tools.
Okay, well for that you're gonna have to body swap again, so you'll need some druids.
Oh no.
Suddenly, Michael
Okay.
joins the call saying that he's now also a druid.
No.
He's a triple class.
The only druid we're having in this party is if my character dies.
What? That just sounds like a double standard.
The message can
It's my druid robot.
so with the message they will understand what I'm trying to get at when I say the words.
I mean, if you just put, like, random nothingness, then no.
Of course not.
What's the message, Chris?
So, okay, Thanatos talked to me. Connection severed with you. He wants resurrecting giant. Don't know what to do. Can you resurrect?
Yeah, that's a reasonable enough message.
All right, that's what I say.
Okay. Okay. You guys want to do anything else down here then?
No, I guess not.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed the tour. I guess you'll be wanting to collect that gold now, huh?
What? Oh, gold.
For the taxes
Yep.
that we were here to
Yes,
collect.
that gold.
Yep. So was that
Oh,
was that a
gold.
no? You
Who
wouldn't
chose
be.
gold?
So was that a no? You wouldn't be able to resurrect this thing?
I certainly can't, and I don't think our spiritually inclined friend here has enough training yet to pull something off like that.
This situation's insane, Zoe says. Just for the record, just putting it out there that this is completely bonkers.
Yeah. Well, that's adventure. That's the business we're in. Wasn't
Also,
she
for
a
the record,
fairly experienced adventurer when she joined this party?
yes. So even by her standards, this is freaking bonkers.
I don't know, man. I mean, like we've plane shifted twice. This is kind of tame.
Also, item 2, for the record, I presume you guys are going to start going back upstairs then? If you
Yeah.
don't, yeah. Item 2, I'd like to put on the record, I've never met someone quite like Fitch. Can we agree
Yeah.
to that?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's one of a kind.
Yep. Now, where did I put my lit cigar? Oh, right, I put it in that ashtray.
Huh?
No.
That's not an ashtray.
That's not a candle, that's dynamite.
It's death scented.
Yep. And so, they do that thing to the wall again to make it walk throughable. Well, I hope that our little field trip was very eye-opening for you.
That's definitely a word that can be used to describe it.
Yes. Huh. And so they walk you back to the above bar. And they kind of signal to the barkeep, who goes over to the people and say, sorry, this is having a bit of a family emergency. Got to close down for the night. Aw, man. And so the few patrons in there walk out.
They have the ability, they have the power to just make an entire bar just dip. That is social power right
Tell
there.
you what, it might get resolved quickly, might be able to open up in like an hour, but I don't know, no promises. And he puts up a closed sign.
My lord.
Alright. So, is this contingency A or contingency B? Yes, then. No, B. And the man visibly reacts, oh, okay, good. I did not want to have to contingency A these 3 people. That sounds like a nightmare. And he walks over to the painting of the...
I'm not sure that I appreciate that your primary plan was murder.
Who said anything about murder? He said in a super insincere voice as he walks over to a painting of a very finely dressed man with a fine bottle of wine and takes it off the wall. Yep, okay. And he points inside. Burlap sack's there. Do with it what you need.
Alright, so I'm going to take out roughly half.
Oh, good. You're leaving us a fair portion. Good. We could use that to buy
Yeah,
more
well,
materials.
I figure if it was stolen 2 months ago by random vagrants with no real affiliation other than to money, well, then, a good deal of it would have been spent by the time we found it.
Ah, I like the way this man thinks. Okay. Well, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. If you're ever back in the village of Chipham, I'd be glad to give you a premium discount on your drinks.
Much obliged.
Yes. Chris, you with us?
Sorry.
So
One more
we're just
time?
kind of speeding
Repeat
things
that?
along a little bit, so I just want to make sure that we didn't leave you somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
All I know is that we went back up.
They went to the above bar, and Andreas collected about 40% of the money, or 45 maybe.
Okay.
Who knows?
All right.
So, is there anything else you guys want to do in town before you leave?
No. Do we check back in?
Turins.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and do that real quick. Let's check back in.
Ah. Oh, yes. Yeah, Jeremy, he opens... That's not his name. Jeremiah opens the door for you. Oh, yes, Earth Mover. Fitch, Zoe, good to see the three of you. How was your day out in the town? Where's my father? Didn't he go out with you?
Oh crap! We left him at the bar.
I'm kidding you. He came back an hour ago.
Okay.
Ah,
We
so...
went drinking. Completely forgot about him.
Oh, I see you're holding
No,
a burlap sack that sounds like it's full of coins. Is that a good sign?
yes, it is. This is all we were able to recover. Well, it's not all of it, but I'm sure that won't be held against the town.
Ah, wherever did you find it?
Well, I found it stashed away somewhere. It
Where?
was in a relatively surprising location, but that's all right.
Yes, but what was the location? This sounds like a very good story.
It was actually you're familiar with the giant bones?
Giant bones? Is that like a metaphor? Or a store? Or
Huge giant bones.
well, yes, I suppose giant bones would be huge, but we don't have any such thing here.
Perhaps it loses something in translation then.
What do giant bones have to do with this gold?
Uh, this is Andreas thinking, not Earth Mover. It's oh, actually, let me. I imagine being in a land with giants. There probably is a saying about giant bones.
Are they good
True.
luck? Bad luck?
Probably bad luck.
Medium luck? Oh. Yeah,
Like,
you don't want to met
something
kill the
that
giant.
killed a yeah, something that killed a giant.
So you're saying something worse is to come?
No, it's more an issue of keeping you out of the issue as much as possible to avoid implicating you in anything.
Well, I'm the Lord
Not
Mayor
that
of
I
this
am
town.
implicated in anything. It's bad omens of what's to come.
Fitch, what happened here?
Well, I had a completely different experience, but
He had a spiritual experience with a rock.
no, it
Did
was
you-
more.
Did you scry the location of the coins?
No.
Though I wish that happened.
You know, that would have been a super easy lie to get away with. You guys know that, right?
Yes, we do, but I'm trying to practice for if we get a zone of truth cast on us when we go give them only part of the money.
Okay.
This isn't Earthmover's aversion to lying. This is Earthmover knowing that he's going to have to practice to not get caught in a lie later.
Okay. So, where did you find the money?
Well, we went into
Is that
their
the best
basement,
in town?
Where?
and
Is,
I
is,
guess
is is it in a like in a district area?
town's not exactly split up into districts, but do you want to tell him it was near the temple? Or
Yeah.
on the, west side?
Yeah.
Or wait.
Better question. Did I have access to like the route that the tax collector cart went through town, seeing as we were there to investigate where the money went?
From what you know, it's Jeremiah's job to collect the taxes from the people, then he just gives it to the tax collector who gives it to the Duke.
Okay.
Yeah, it was near the temple.
Did the temple have anything to do with this?
Not to my knowledge.
Did they just ditch it there because they were worried they were caught with it? What happened?
Well, not all of it was there. Or rather, we weren't able to recover all of the gold. I don't think this is all of the gold.
Did you count it?
Were we given an amount?
Yes, but I keep forgetting to double check it.
Okay. Then yeah, we weren't able to recover all of the gold. It wasn't all available to us. I'm assuming some amount of it got spent up by whoever stole it. I don't know who stole it.
And
You
then you
can't tell
see
if we were-
like a look of almost like worry and clarity come across his face, like, "Oh, please tell me my son had nothing to do with this." Is that what you're trying to avoid telling me?
No.
Do I need to worry about this happening again next month?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think so. I'm pretty sure no. I hope not.
I'm not going to
We
get a
won't be
straight.
here.
I'm not going to get a straight, concise answer out of you, am I?
Probably not.
I imagine that having their stash uncovered is going to scare them off of getting more carts.
Well, okay. I guess I'll just have to up security.
That's probably a reasonable idea. Yeah, I would agree with that measure.
Am I still shocked from the experience?
You probably are a bit shaken by it, but you can still, but you're still like fully cognizant of what's going on here.
Right. It's like a bad dream that you can't shake off.
Yep. Well, I don't know what happened. Might not want to know what happened, but probably best just to send you on your way.
I would also agree with that call.
Yeah.
I don't foresee any further harassment by the government,
Good day, Earthmover.
and to you.
He closes the door.
Wait. Say hello to Maria for me.
You're likely to see her before I do.
That's fair, but you send letters and I don't.
Haven't received a letter in years from her.
Oh. Strange? What's so strange matter? No, it's a...
Okay, you guys want to do anything else in town?
No, I'm ready to get the hell out of Dodge here.
Yeah. And as you guys approach the carriage, Zoe does say, "I think I should stay in town for a while."
Oh?
Who?
Zoe.
Why is that?
Well, things here are starting to boil up, and I think perhaps it would be good to have them investigate, and also, I'm kind of worried what further associating you two is going to do to me on multiple levels. Apparently he's possessed by a death god?
I'm not possessed.
He's not possessed, he's in cahoots with a death god.
Technically he's in cahoots with multiple.
Yes,
Yes.
at least 2.
At least 2. I think this is number 4.
And I also think that perhaps this revolution could use some aid to make sure things don't get violent right away.
I appreciate that effort. Even if it's not for our sake, obviously.
Yes. Well, very well then. I wish you well in your journey. Perhaps we'll meet again.
I give her a farewell in giant. Go on my merry way.
I hope I see you in about at least 4 years.
And as the carriage pulls away, you hear her say, mostly to herself, I really hope neither of those comments was a threat.
Mine was in a language she doesn't speak.
Exactly.
And mine, and she doesn't even know how many years mine is.
Yeah, yours. Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, so yours was just completely insane for multiple reasons. And do you guys want to call it here, or go back to the Duke, or what?
Let's call it here. We'll deal with the Duke not on the morrow, on the week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you guys have finished collecting taxes, and you didn't blow anything up
Kind
this
of.
time.
We kind of finished collecting taxes.
Kinda.
Well, you
We
finished
could have
collecting,
taken
not
everything,
distributing.
but we didn't.
Yep. Because you support the rebels, which means that, you are in
When the
some way.
Empire defeats them,
Think about it. Like, you are now in support of the rebels in everything they do with those blasting barrels.
no.
That's how that works.
I am in support of a diplomatic takeover
Ah.
of the government.
Well,
And I am only endorsing violence as a last-ditch contingency, and even then with restraint.
well, we can figure out the minute differences between those very similar things next time. But until then, I've been your host and Dungeon Master Drew, and I've been joined by
Disgruntled Earth Mover.
and
Fish.